How's it going, Star Seekers? GotCake here, and today I'm bringing you a quick review of Titan Glory, a third-person multiplayer mech shooter where you compete against online and offline opponents in objective-based and deathmatch style games. So hitting the main menu we get an interface which will likely be familiar if you've played other similar games such as War Thunder or World of Tanks. We can hit X for hints from this annoying robot, but we can head into the options to turn these off altogether. The options also contain standard audio and language settings, as well as controller sensitivity settings, which trust me you're going to need to bump up a little. We can also see the game's control scheme on this snazzy diagram, and finally the extra settings allow us to turn rumble on and off, and set our default camera distance, which widens or narrows our viewing angle. Heading back to the main menu, at the top of the screen we can see an experience bar. Completing games will net you experience, which will increase your level, and leveling up unlocks additional mech types and paint jobs for them. We're able to switch between mechs by heading to the garage, and each mech comes with different primary and secondary weapons, as well as their own base stats, which I'll cover in a moment. Now, completing games also nets us currency, which can be spent to upgrade our mechs, and our current currency can be seen on the right side of the XP bar. We can head into the Mech Upgrade screen by selecting its name at the top of the screen, and here we can see that our mech is made up of 5 parts. We have the CPU, armour, mobility, primary weapon and secondary weapon. We can spend our currency to upgrade these and increase the star rank, with higher upgrades costing more currency. Upgrading weapons increases things such as the DPS, rate of fire, range, magazine size and explosion range for rockets and artillery, whilst upgrading our CPU, armour or mobility improves our armour, movement speed, energy regen and energy values. Selecting stats from the menu gives us an overview of our mech's current stats. So getting into the game types, we can select between offline single player or online multiplayer. First, taking a look at the offline single player, the main game is split into 12 tournaments of increasing AI difficulty. Each tournament is then split into 6 different rounds with various game modes played on different maps. And at the top of each round, we can see the maximum number of credits we can earn for completing the round and coming in first place. Now, the game currently contains 8 offline game modes, discounting the free roam mode, and 6 different maps. So the AI in single player mode is actually pretty dumb. They often just walk straight towards you, allowing for easy kills, or group up on one spot in objective based maps, allowing you to destroy a bunch of them all together. As you progress through the tournaments, their equipment improves, increasing the difficulty of the games, but generally they're pretty easy to beat. Now, we need to complete each round of a tournament in turn, and we have to complete a whole tournament to unlock the next one, with each tournament offering higher credit rewards for completing its rounds. So turning our attention now to multiplayer, we get a few different options. We can start a custom match for people to join, and we get a choice of 5 game modes which covers the standard TDM, free-for-all and several objective modes, and the same 6 maps available in single player. We can also create a private password protected game if we only want to play with friends. So if we want to hop into someone else's game, we can press Y and we'll join into a server, though there were times when the game had issues with this and we get this server busy notification. Now, 9 out of 10 times you'll drop into an existing match, often seconds before it ends, in which case you usually don't get a reward. There are also no lobbies in Titan Glory, so after a match ends the server gets shut down, and you then have to search for a new game. Sometimes you'll get lucky though and drop into a match before it begins, and get to see other players as they join. Now, multiplayer in Titan Glory is just totally broken. There is 0 team balancing, and nearly every game I went into had a stack of players on one side, against 1 or 2 players on the other team, and there's no way in the game to switch teams. This has a huge impact on the game, especially in objective based games, which would usually result in one team capping all the objectives, followed by a few minutes of spawn killing. Now, the game's graphics aren't great, there's some decent detailing on the mechs, but level terrain is relatively low resolution. The good thing about this though is that I never experienced any frame rate issues at any point. Controls for the mechs are pretty simple. We fire our primary and secondary weapons with ZL and ZR, with the R button used to zoom our view to target distant enemies. We're able to jump with the X button, sprint by holding L, and manually reload by pressing B, which takes a little while depending on the weapon. At the bottom of the screen we can see our HP and energy bars, and energy is used when jumping and sprinting, but we can also expend it to activate a shield. This is done by hitting A, and the shield will soak up some incoming damage. Now, throughout the maps there are various pickups which you can grab by walking over them. We have green crosses which regenerate our health, light blue arrows which increase our movement speed for a short time, yellow pickups which instantly reload our weapon, red flame shaped pickups which increase our damage, and dark blue lightning pickups which instantly recover our energy. Once picked up, these take a little while to respawn, and learning the locations of these pickups will really help out during a battle. Now at the top of the screen we can see how much time is left in a round and the current scores, and when matches end you then get to see a results page showing how many kills you got and how much XP and credits you earned. You can then leave the server and head straight into a new game, or head back to the customization menu and spend your credits upgrading your mech. So combat in the game is actually not bad and it's pretty fun, but there are also currently huge balance issues with the game. You don't get put into games with people of equal skill level or based on the current upgrades of your mech, so if you're new to the game you often end up being extremely underpowered in comparison to people who have been playing longer. I got started on the game early and upgraded my gear quite quickly, and after maxing out my rocket launcher and most of my armour, I was able to absolutely dominate players in every game I entered. And this whole problem is only going to become more of an issue the longer the lack of matchmaking goes on. I personally find upgrade systems in multiplayer games to be a terrible idea, as it always ends up being less about skill and more about how long you've been playing. Currently, when you join into pre-game lobbies, a star rating is shown for each player, which I believe indicates how upgraded the mech is, and I presume this is going to be used in the future to balance teams, but at the moment it doesn't do anything. For now, the only actual viable game mode is free for all, which gives new players a fighting chance, but they're never going to top the scoreboards. So now we come to rating the game in its current state. Now I rate games between 1 and 5 stars, with a shovelware stamp of approval reserved for the worst games on the eShop. This rating is based on my own personal opinion on what a game has to offer in terms of gameplay and value for money to potential buyers. And for a rating, I'd give Titan Glory 1 out of 5 stars. Currently, single player with its dumb AI is an absolute breeze with a few upgrades, and multiplayer is completely broken with no way to balance teams and upgraded players dominating the battlefield. If you're thinking of trying the game, I'd say either grab it right now before it gets more players, or wait until its multiplayer has been updated and balanced. So you can get Titan Glory from the UK Switch eShop for £4.49, or from the US eShop for $4.99. How's it going, Star Seekers? If this review of Titan Glory helped you out, let me know by hitting that like button and drop your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, subscribe for future Switch indie game reviews and join the Star Seekers Discord server to become part of its growing community. For now though, I just want to say thanks once again for watching, and until next time, game on.